Welcome everybody into Coda's Cove. Today we are going to be reviewing The Last of Us Season 2, the series as a whole. All right, so I was a huge fan of The Last of Us Season 1, one of my favorite shows I had watched in recent memory. Episode 1 of Season 1 was one of my favorite openings to a show. I thought they did so well introducing the cordyceps and everything, and the horror in the episode was really cool. Had one of my favorite shots in the whole series with the old lady tweaking in the background while Joel's daughter was looking through her movie collection and all that. As stated before, I have never played the game, so all this is new to me. I know some of the spoilers that happened from The Last of Us 2 because you can't escape anything off social media. So I was expecting what happens to Joel, so that wasn't that big of a surprise to me, but everything else, all the other plot points, I'm going into this fresh. So I have a different viewpoint on this show than most people, especially the ones who have played the game. I thought season 2 started off pretty good. I liked how season 2 started off. I thought they did a fine job, Joel and Ellie being in Jackson, back with Tommy and everybody, and Joel and Ellie trying to become one with this community. Thought it started off pretty solid. After the first 2 episodes, though, I can see why there has been so much backlash and negative viewpoints on this show, because I'll be honest, let's just get the cat out of the bag. Bella Ramsey's acting is not very good in this show. Now, I'm not going to go off and give all the hate that some of the communities out there, like on Reddit, do, because some of that, I'll be honest, just some weirdo energy, some of the hate she's received, but her acting as Ellie, I will be honest, not the best. She does not know how to really use facial expressions the correct way in this show, and it does take a dive when Joel eventually is out of the show and it's Bella Ramsey having to take over all the acting. She doesn't do good. She does a lot of dumb stuff, and I don't know if that was Bella Ramsey's decision or if it was more of directors telling her what to do, but there is some very dumb decisions made throughout the show that don't make sense. First off, we'll start off in the very first episode. Ellie's being taught, how to fight. And because of Bella Ramsey's size, she still looks like a child. And apparently this is supposed to be Ellie way down the line. Ellie should be bigger, should be a little bit stronger. And this fight she's having with this dude as like Jesse's teaching her, it just is not believable at all. Ellie learns that she is, they let her win and she gets mad and tells them, don't let me do that. It's like, well, they kind of needed to, because if they didn't let you win, there's no way you're winning that fight. Like, it just didn't look believable at all. Now, Joel, the episodes that he is in, Pedro Pascal does an amazing job. He plays Joel so well as a character. There is tension between him and Ellie because Ellie knows the truth of what Joel did at the hospital with the fireflies, but he hasn't told her, doesn't want to tell her, and there's a lot of tension and, teenager anger that we all have experienced through our lives, where we get mad at our parents, at whoever's watching us, and we're kind of like spoiled little pricks. Ellie's like that, but it's so over the top in these episodes, it gets kind of annoying. Ellie throughout the whole show is pretty much reckless. From what I've heard from people, and like my brother have told me from playing the game, like Ellie has skill in the wilderness to be able to survive and do the things that she does in the game. In this show, they don't really show it. She's reckless, she's a prick pretty much the whole show. There's an episode when they get to Seattle where Dina's trying to triangulate where some of these people could be in this Seattle so they can go get their revenge after what happens to Joel. And Ellie's like, how do you triangulate? And I've been told by a few people, like, that's not how it happens at all in the game. Like, Ellie can triangulate, and they just make her look dumb in this show for some odd reason. I don't really understand. Speaking of Dina, she's probably my favorite character in this season. She does a very good job. She does very well at lifting up scenes because Bella Ramsey tends to pull them down with her acting. Dina does very well with like the emotional support side of things in the show. You come to find out that she's pregnant, and her being in Seattle just adds an extra level of danger because she wants to get revenge with Ellie for Joel because she looked at Joel as a father figure. And I just thought her acting in all the scenes were very well done. She's probably the best portion of the show, other than the few times we get to see Tommy in the show. Again, this season has something that season one really didn't have as much as I would like to see. There wasn't as many fight scenes with the infected. There was a very cool episode where Jackson has a large horde of infected come, and I thought that was very well done. Looked very good. Tommy fighting the big tank infected person with the bloater, I guess is what they're called. That was very cool. This was the same episode where Joel eventually gets killed by Abby, and unfortunately, although brutal in the show, I've heard and I've seen, gameplay footage of the cutscene where how she kills him in the game, and the game was much more brutal with the golf club. So that episode I thought was very cool. I thought it was very cool how Abby first runs into the affected, how they're using the dead bodies to like keep them warm while they're in the snow, because in Jackson the winters get very harsh up there. Thought that was really well done. Very cool episode. And then afterwards, this is when stuff starts to slowly kind of spiral in a downward trajectory. Speaking of Abby, I thought she did a good job acting. I like the actress that plays Abby. A lot of people I've seen, they are making fun that, she didn't want to get jacked for the role of Abby, because I guess Abby in the video game just kind of like hulks out and lifts and gets massive so she can beat the hell out of Joel. I didn't have a problem with it. Like, this isn't the video game. This is where I don't mind where, the video game isn't exactly pulled from, because it would look a little crazy, because the actress that plays Abby, she's like Bella Ramsey size, and it would look very odd for her to be so jacked up, in my opinion. Now we're kind of going to get into where I have a lot of problems with this season. We're going to start off where I stated earlier. There are a lot of dumb decisions in this. For one, Ellie is constantly putting herself and others around her in dangerous situations for no reason, just so that, the show can show that she's reckless, and, she's all focused on the revenge on Joel. Like, she doesn't pay attention. They're walking down the middle of the street in Seattle, her and Dina's the one that has to point out, hey, we shouldn't continue to walk. Look at that huge tower in the distance. They can probably see us from here. And it's like, I'm pretty sure Joel would have taught Ellie something like that, but, she doesn't think of anything like that. The scene that really made me like flip, like, oh, I'm not enjoying this show as much, is the love scene we get with Dina and Ellie. Stupid, just completely stupid, idiotic. I don't even know what other word or adjective to use to describe how stupid this love scene is between them. Couple minutes before, Ellie sacrifices her arm so Dina doesn't get bit as they're running away from infected, in a very cool scene of an underground like spot, like a metro, not a metro, like a subway system, and I'm trying to get through these turnstiles. Dina can't get through. Ellie puts her arm out and sacrifices it so the infected bites her arm. Okay, we get out of that. They survive. Dina's freaking out because Ellie got bit. She doesn't know yet that Ellie's immune, and we're in this theater after Dina finds out that Ellie, isn't gonna turn. She doesn't have to kill her. She's immune. And we automatically go to them like this like sex scene between the two of them. Are you kidding me? For one, Ellie just got bit. Therefore, I'm sure the infection is still on her. The cordyceps are still within her somewhere. And like, not trying to get TMI, but we start using get a little handsy, kind of close to where she's bit. You just put your infected self into the girl that you love. That's what we're doing. We're just gonna, not make our characters look dirty and disgusting, smell funky. They just got done killing a horde of infected and running away. No, they're clean. Looks like they just took a nice shower. Ellie's, getting very handsy with an infected hand on her girlfriend. It's just stupid. It makes no sense. I hated it. It was so idiotic. And continuing with Ellie, her character development in this show, it's not very believable. Like, while they're going through Seattle, like they go to this music store. By the way, side note, the set designs in the show, though, still very top-notch, fantastic. They look amazing. But they get to this music store, or if they're going somewhere, like Ellie's like hopping around all happy, acting like a little kid in a playground. It's like, why? You're supposed to be so fueled by anger and revenge for Joel, and you're walking around like skipping through these shops, acting like a little toddler. And it doesn't make it believable, especially when she gets to chasing Nora and they get to like the underground portion where the spores are. She like flips the switch and all of a sudden she's not like happy, go, let's have fun. Ellie, she's, supposed to look like a monster, essentially. Like the rage has consumed her. All she can care about is like getting to Abby, exacting her revenge on Abby. And it's just like, where did this come from? Like a couple scenes ago, you're skipping with Dina making jokes and stuff, and now all of a sudden you're just hell-bent on getting your revenge. Wasn't believable. Like, it didn't go very well with the show, in my opinion. And the one big con that I really have for this show is what they made Joel out to be. They made Joel like the villain of the show. They made him look like the monster of the show instead of all the infected and everything, because of what happened in season 1, where Joel, unalived all the doctors and everybody in the hospital that were supposed to make a cure with Ellie. I've been told by people in the game that's not how it happens. Like, the doctor in the game that's trying to make a cure is actually a veterinarian. And there's notes saying that they don't think it's going to work. It probably won't work. So Joel is right to have saved Ellie, because, in the game and everything, that's the cure isn't going to work. In the show, they don't really even hint that it's not going to work. They just said, yep, cure's going to work. It would have worked. It's like, excuse me? Why would you take and make Joel the villain of this?
Why?
Joel was in the right, because the cure wouldn't have worked. And it's just stupid what they did. I hated that decision. I don't know why they went about it that way. It leads to Ellie and Joel having episodes of conflict, because Ellie finds out, Joel finally tells her in a flashback episode you see about the truth. That episode was probably the best episode in the series, just because, again, Pedro Pascal acting so good. That scene where he tells Ellie he would have done it again because he loves her like a daughter, and he says the line that his father says to him, I hope you do better than I did. I'll give chef's kiss to that. That was beautifully done. But overall, making Joel the actual villain of this story, I thought was very stupid. Not a good decision. So moving on to just basically the season finale, I thought it was one of the worst episodes of the season. The season finale, folks, was so boring. It felt like half the episode was Ellie going on a boat trying to get to the aquarium, because that's where she thinks Abby's at. And the scenes with her in the boat are a complete waste of my time. She gets knocked off the boat from a wave because she's going in a storm, and the waves are very crazy, not steady, very rocky. She lands upon an island. Where this island is this cult, where the people are like love of the mother or whatever it is. And that whole scene with the cult was a complete waste of time. You could have saved some film roll. She gets caught. She almost gets hung. She almost gets her belly sliced, like the dude previously when Jesse's running through the park with her and Abby gets hit with the crossbow bolt. And then something happens off in the distance and they say their village is getting attacked or something. What was the whole purpose? It did nothing to the plot. It didn't move the plot. It was a waste of time. I don't understand. I was thinking maybe Ellie was trying to tell him, hey, I'm not a wolf. I'm trying to actually go kill the wolves. And they would let her go. No, she just got almost hung up in a tree. Almost, cut for absolutely no reason. Speaking of the season finale, because we wasted so much time doing other garbage that we really didn't need, Jesse's death in the show was rushed. No impact whatsoever. They don't show Dina's emotion when he dies because, she's pregnant. It's his child. And there was a big part in this episode where, Jesse's telling Ellie, I'm not going to fight these people and save this kid from the wolves because I'm going to be a father. I don't want to die here. I'm trying to get us out of here so we can go back home so I can raise my child. Cool. Dina never tells him that she's pregnant. Ellie says she's going to. And it's like the whole episode, it gets rushed. Abby comes in the last 5 minutes. Ellie and Jesse run through a door. Jesse gets shot in the face. And then we cut to black when it looks like Abby shoots Ellie. And Ellie, again, making her crazy, sad face. We hear a gunshot. Cut to black, and now we're going to Abby's point of view. What a garbage cliffhanger. And I've had this issue with multiple TV shows, just not The Last of Us. 9 episodes, 8 episodes is not enough for one season. Everything feels rushed. Now we got to get a whole season of Abby's point of view, which I'm really not looking forward to, because even the directors have come out and said we're going to need a season 4 to tell the whole story. What do you mean you need a season 4? Season 2 wasn't even good enough for the whole story. Season 3 is probably not going to be that good. We don't need a 4th season. What we should have done is make a 15 to anywhere from maybe a 12 to 15 episode season. That way we can flesh out some more of the character details. We can get some better character development with Ellie. Instead, everything is rushed. This season finale was a wasted time, if you ask me. Thankfully, we get to see Tommy again because I like Tommy's character, but you only see him for like what? Maybe a minute total? The whole episode, he's off sniping and creating chaos. You don't see him. And from what I've heard in the video game, Tommy is like, he's pretty much a badass. You don't see that in this at all. I hated the season finale. I was actually upset. I stayed up to go and watch it. And this is so disappointing, especially how after I felt with season 1, because I liked season 1 a lot. Thought it was very good TV. Season 2 of The Last of Us, it's like maybe right at average TV to below average for me. What a drop off. I mean, this is almost like Game of Thrones season finale, like series finale, like level drop off bad. Not a fan, folks. Very upset, actually. I'm super disappointed in this season. If that was a word I would use to describe this season as a whole, disappointed, underwhelmed would be the two I would use. All right, so to give my rating, as I said, show dropped in quality tremendously compared to season 1. I'm going to watch the entirety of it because I do like this storyline. I think this is very cool. I almost want to go play the games just to see the difference, but I'm not very good with horror, so don't know if I can handle that aspect of it. Maybe I'll just watch some playthroughs, but I will watch the entirety of it. I'm not looking forward to season 3. I don't care about Abby enough to want to see her point of view. I don't care to see a season 4. We got one good season, one bad season. And with Joel being out of the picture, I don't see the seasons getting much better. So I'm going to go ahead. This was a tough grade for me. I think I'm going to go, I'll go 5 out of 10. I'm going to say this is just like average television. There was some good moments in here. There were some good fight scenes. Beautiful set designs and visuals in Seattle, especially like the guitar store. I heard that was pretty much ripped out from the video game. It looks fantastic. The moss growing on everything, Ellie playing the guitar, very cool. Ramsey did a good job singing. I was impressed with that. Very touching. The flashback with Joel creating the guitar he made for Ellie. Well done. Just that whole episode with Joel and Ellie's dynamics. Very good. The birthday gifts he gave her. Dad of the year. Definitely dad of the year, especially in the post-apocalypse, like mushrooms and fungus are taking over people and making them eat each other. Those are some of the coolest birthday gifts I've ever seen. Other than that, garbage episodes. Really didn't care. They bring this cult into season 2, which I know is in the video game. It's like, it felt like they were hinting at them being like a bigger plot point, and then nothing really came about it other than them and the wolves are going at each other. Ellie's revenge tour, very weird. She's happy, giddy, jumping around, making jokes like a little child at a playground, and then all of a sudden she flips a switch when she's going to kill Nora, and now it's like, oh, Ellie's, deep, dark descent into her revenge is coming. Didn't make sense. Season finale felt rushed. I'll go ahead and say borderline garbage season finale. I'm sick of cliffhangers in shows. I want seasons that are good seasons. I don't want seasons that are automatically making you wait for the next one. Can't stand that. I don't know why we started doing that with TV shows. It's a stupid decision. Bring back longer season episodes. Stop giving us 7, 8, 9 episodes and rushing everything. We are okay if you have a slower episode, if we get some good plot development, character development. 5 out of 10. Average for me. Depending on what day, I'll say below average. If you liked episode or season 1, I don't know if you're going to like season 2. For those that played the game, you probably hate this show. And at first I was like, I don't understand why everybody who played the game is hating this. I thought it was okay. I understand after going through this season, the slow descent you see, especially after Joel's passing. Ramsey cannot carry the show as Ellie, unfortunately. Hate to say it. I don't want to look like I'm a hater towards her, but it just doesn't do it. If you want to watch something, just watch something. I think this is, like I said, an average show. You'll be okay to watch it. Other than that, you're probably going to be left disappointed. And again, we're left on another cliffhanger. We go into Abby's point of view. Season 3 is probably all Abby's point of view until she catches back up with Ellie. Best way I could describe it. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Coda's Cove. If you like, hey, leave a like, subscribe, and be ready for more videos. Thanks everybody for the support. Make sure to be a friend, tell a friend, come on into the Cove because the water's fine, baby.